Welcome to the Tone Jerks podcast. I'm your host, Brian Gower, and with me today, we got
Kyle McIntyre.
Kyle McIntyre.
I'm here.
Yep.
We're here.
Yep, we're here. This might be the last video one we do for a while.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think with the timing, I don't know if we're going to get one more in. But, hey, we're here. We're doing video.
Yeah.
So check it out on YouTube. Make sure to head over, hit subscribe, hit like.
And they still will post to YouTube, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, they'll go there.
Should be audio only.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be able to make it work. And until you get to Texas, got to get a camera.
Yeah.
I know you're like, fuck. Sell a couple pedals and get a camera. You get just like a webcam because I think you.
Oh well, I'm gonna be doing my camming.
Yeah, you got. That's what you got to do. You got to do it. We got a cam for the cast.
Yeah,
so,
that's why I'm moving out there is to start my own camming.
Camming. Deal.
I can't do it from home.
Yeah. So, Kyle, what's new in your world? What's shaking? What's grooving? What is good?
All right, so I'm preparing since I'm driving my vehicle out there, preparing just things. You know,
I guess if you didn't listen to the last episode, Kyle's moving to Texas.
I'm moving to Texas.
They live in San Diego now. He's moving to Texas.
Driving the Vic out there. Oil change, just getting stuff prepped. So I got new tires, which I needed anyways. Painted the wheels, which is completely unnecessary, but it looks fucking dope, bro. Just cleaning it up and doing stuff. And then my buddy Hamza bought for me like he's got a Crown Vic too. Yeah. But he's like, oh, what you need on this, you need to get a new belt. He gave me a new serpentine belt to put on it. And I just was putting off and recently it was making some squeaky noises. I'm like, I'm going to just change it out. And then I'm like, I did some research on YouTube and the guy was like, oh, well, I'm going to replace the tensioner, which is like a device that basically you pull the belt off and it adds tension to the belt so everything stays tight no matter what.
Yeah, because I'm like,
that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's spring loaded. And then there was also this, they called an idler pulley. So it's just like literally like a skateboard wheel. Like it just sits on there. It's not rubber, right? Yeah. But it's on a bearing.
Yeah.
Like a skateboard bearing, but it's bigger and beefier.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, might as well change that out too.
Yeah.
Just might as well. Let's just fucking do this.
You're in it.
Change it. I go to loosen it with my ratchet and it was like almost like it was finger tight on there. I'm like, okay, well, just someone, was messing with it. I've never messed with it before. Loosened it and it like comes off and I'm like, oh, cool. I look at the old assembly and there's like a chunk of aluminum stuck inside it. I'm like, oh shit. That's like broken off. Like someone had tightened the fucking shit out of it. Mm-hmm. And I can't believe it was still, it wasn't like, there's still threads holding it all together, but it was super loose. And I never heard any noises from it. Nothing ever happened. It's just a pulley. It just basically adds another point of contact for the belt to go past.
Yeah.
So I've had this debacle of basically, I've fixed it. It's the temporary fix. I'm looking into what it's going to take to actually fix it fully.
Yeah.
And it's not that bad. It's just no one has this part. So they just got to commit and drive more than halfway across the country and see if it holds.
You could buy it before because you got a couple weeks.
Well, no one has it. So.
Oh, you can't, not even in stock.
No, not even at like, the closest one that I could find was in Houston, Texas.
Oh, well, you just go there and get it.
Yeah, perfect. I might do that. Or I might go to a junkyard and pull it out of a truck, off of a Crown Vic and see if it.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how important that is. That
it's I have it's pretty. I have it on there pretty tight. So what I did is I kept the same dimensions of because it's it's a thing that runs around a circuit, right? It's a belt.
Yeah,
and everything's in the right spot. Tighten it in with a longer bolt and everything, and it is tight, it is snug, and I've run it around town for a bit, and I check it every time I check it, and it's not loose, it's not loosening.
Yeah. So,
and
that is,
I took it to your shop that you recommended, and they're like, oh yeah, you need to change this whole. It's not even just like change that part, because if I had that part, like I could probably change it out, but they don't sell it. It's the whole front end of the motor. Oh. The timing cover. There's timing chains and stuff, and they cover it and they mount everything to it, and that's what snapped off with something on that.
Yeah.
Which I thought the part Since it's all aluminum, and since it's like I couldn't find it. I went to 2 Ford dealerships. I didn't check like Napa or some of the smaller guys, but they didn't have it at either Ford. And I thought the price would be like $800 for this piece of aluminum. It's huge. It's like, it's huge. It was like $200. I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
I want it.
Yeah, but nobody has it.
No one has it. So
nobody can get it.
Yeah, and if I bought it from the Houston one and shipped it over here, I don't know what the time frame would be. It'd be like, oh, well, I'm leaving, I'm gone, and the thing's still in the mail. Yeah. But I might try and go down to a junkyard and maybe just take the part with me.
What if you
take all the tools with me to...
Yeah, you could do that. What if you rent a vehicle to tow your car?
Could, but...
Or you get your car towed over there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man. That, it costs money, but yeah.
It costs a lot of money to drive a car one way, because then they charge you for like, I don't know. I've done it. It's not very feasible.
Yeah.
They charge you like, instead of when you drive a rental car around town, it's like $200, $300.
Yeah.
They charge you like $1,000 or more.
Yeah. I think that might be worth it instead of getting stuck.
Yeah. I like the way you think.
That would probably be worth it. Or get that towed over there, and then you could fly over there. Or you could rent a vehicle to take it there. That way you're not putting miles on your vehicle. This is probably what you like. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that. I want to drive it though. I want to like ruin this car, dude.
Yeah, you could just get fucking stuck out there. And then you're like, oh, cool. I have to be at work at my new job in a couple of days.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah.
But it's all about the thrill, man.
Oh, that's probably one of the dumbest things you just said.
Thanks.
That I'm going to take that out there. No, I would probably.
Anyway, so I played the Sky Bridge from ELM Effects. Yeah.
You're still like, I'm going to do it.
It's solid. I think that fix is solid.
Okay.
It's
a long drive. Because you've driven out there, not in that vehicle. You drove out there in a rented, yeah.
It's a long drive. I know.
Oh, dude. I don't know. Well, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. I could just take the part with me. Go rip it off a car, rip it off at a junkyard, and just take it with me. If I have to do it on the side of the road, I will.
Okay. Yeah.
It's all about the thrill, man.
Yeah, I guess. I'm trying to, I'm just going to fight this thing the whole way. Who are you fighting with? Me?
Yeah. No, I'm thinking about what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
yeah,
Skybridge.
Tried that.
Finally tried it. It's actually, dude, it's awesome. It has a huge range, and I think you've talked about it. Where you have, it's great that, he's got like your low end and your high end, but the mid range is always there. Mm-hmm. Or
you can dial it in by turning things back.
Yeah, exactly. And it sounded really great. And I was messing with it through the AC, the AD30. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
With the blue telly. It's great. Dude, I probably should try it with, I was doing singles. Probably should try it with Humbucker.
Mm-hmm.
See how, maybe even the Filtertron, see how they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's a great pedal.
Yeah, because you're, I guess, maybe more familiar with rat circuits and playing them than I am.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh yeah, I mean, and then again, it's like you don't want to say, because he's made the pedal. It's like, oh yeah, this is all rat. I'm like, well, it's a take on it, and we added this and changed it,
Yeah.
And people are gonna always compare it. I'm like, so is it like a DRV? So is it like a rat? It's like
no,
it's its own thing. He's like, so is it like that?
It's its own thing, bro.
I think I texted Eric about it. It's like it was like the first like some messages that I got when I think I posted a picture or something about it. Like, so is it like a DRV? What's it? How's it go? I'm like, it's fucking different. So they're different pedals, and I'm like, I don't have one to compare it to.
Eric, handle this guy for me.
Well, and then
I can't shake it.
Also, even like a rat, because I had borrowed Steve from Steve Rouse.
Did you ever give that back to him?
He gave it to RJ to give to him.
Oh,
so it's on.
Oops.
Yeah. So I think
it's still on you.
I don't know. As far as it was like, that's RJ's now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he gave it back, but he's like, just kind of like, it was good. And I guess I'm not familiar with rats, that I'm like, I can say.
Didn't you compare it to the one I have?
Not really. No, I think.
Oh.
we always like did that.
Joked about it.
Yeah, we did the joke where we found at a old rehearsal studio had like in the garbage somebody had thrown away. So you think if you're like in the Guitar Gear world or whatever, everybody wants to have the box, the cleanest stuff, and all the swag in it, the bag, the pins, and all that stuff, so you can resell it or whatever.
Yeah.
This was somebody who just wanted the pedal and did not give a fuck because they probably threw it on a board to use it. There's a DRV like box with everything in it, just like all like the pins, the like little pouch, and everything.
Dang.
Just in the garbage. And it was floating on the garbage like like an angel. And so I was like, all right.
Oh, that's right. You took it.
It was like pre-COVID times. So I was like, you don't even think
digging through the trash.
Not that like people were like who did that often.
Or still don't.
And it's like, oh yeah. It's like there's no virus or pandemic or anything going around. Jump in the garbage. It's really on top of the trash. So I just like, picked it up. I'm like, what? You see that logo? I'm like, I opened it. I'm like, what the fuck? It had everything in it. I'm like, it was brand new. I'm like, somebody just literally, I don't need this, and threw it away.
We did that live, didn't we?
And we did like, a joke to where like, because we kept talking shit about the pedal, just the hype around it,
Yeah,
without even trying it.
So you repacked it.
We repacked, and it had everything in it, like the little like tissue paper 1981 thing or
the
whatever.
Bag.
The bag.
There was a like an outside like carry like duffel bag.
Yeah.
There was the bubble wrap.
Yeah.
There was tissue. There was the internal bag that was like the cotton one that you had the drawstring on it.
I think it had all that stuff. And then we did an unboxing on our Facebook, like a Facebook Live kind of stream. And we just like, and people were like, what? You guys are going to play it? Da-da-da. Or like kind of like, I knew you guys would cave and start playing it or whatever. And you open it, like you went and like, surprise. And you pulled out your rat and you just like flicked off the camera. And you're like, fuck you. And then
my shitty golden sprayed like spray paint.
Yeah, and then the video ended.
Bye, bitch.
Because I think we'd always just heard it was a rat, and I'm like, it's a good pedal. It's cool. It like does low gain tones well and high gain. It's fine. I don't know if they're hyped up anymore.
No,
it was like,
well, maybe still.
I don't know what the new pedal is like as far as drives go.
I think it'll always be like, was it King of Tone?
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, Clone Centaur, right? But I don't know. What's any fucking thing from Chase Bliss? We're just shitting on everyone right now.
Who can we shit on that's like
who is out there?
Yeah, the praise and worship pedal that we can just shit on. It's Fractal FM3 now.
Yeah?
I've been to just like...
People shit on those?
I don't do praise and worship. I don't do any... religious playing or something like that, but I snuck my way into that group just because I want to see what's going on. If it's on the internet, I gotta see it.
Imposter!
I am the internet. Anyway, did you see that? I'm like, they're loving the shit out of the FM3. I'm kind of waiting for them to jump on the Neural DSP kind of thing, whatever the hell that thing is. The
Neuralink?
Neural.
I don't know.
They came out with a new fucking. Remember the name of it? But it's like, okay, is that going to be the new hotness? Because it was like Kemper's for a bit. It was fucking HX Stomps. Everybody's like, it's HX Stomp. It's good. And like, I think people just love to just talk about like whatever they bought. And like, this is the best thing because I'm just saying whatever I have is the best.
Yeah, exactly. I bought it and this is the best.
Like,
I spent some hard-earned fucking $600 to $800.
Yeah, so
or more.
If I make a bunch of posts on like a free group.
Yeah, I'm validating.
I'm validating myself. Exactly. Yeah. So
I'm a verified user
of Facebook.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the new hotness is. I don't see much. I mean, you see DRVs, but whatever.
Not so much anymore.
Yeah. Like some things that you would think of as far as like Strymon, not even in praise and worship, but just to like hit and be hot. It's like that's Strymon drives. You never see those. Who loves the shit out of Strymons?
Was it Sunset
and Riverside? There's two of them. Sunset was the higher gain one.
Have you tried those before?
I think only at NAMM on their booth. So it was like just through headphones. Like, so it wasn't ever like,
feel the room or feel the amp doing work.
Yeah, kind of how it works with amps and whatever. And it's like they're not really. Yeah, no, it sounds fine, totally fine. It's like I don't know. It's like with Stripe and stuff. It's like they all have like the secret knobs and shit like that. It's like Maris.
They still have those on the drives?
I would assume so.
Jesus.
Fuck, I don't know. But I know the Flint has it, and I had to look at what it was, and I'm like, I don't want to change this. I don't want to just step back. I'm like, just never touch
I got pure gold, baby.
Yeah, just leave it the way it is. I'm like, kind of want it to be a simple pedal, but it's like, we can also do this and reverse the. I'm like, shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut your fucking mouth.
But yeah, so you got your car, you got your Sky Bridge. You're playing that.
Yeah.
You also fixed the windows in your car. That was the
oh
thing.
fuck yeah!
So you got that going,
dude. I was driving around forever.
It was kind of one thing after the other. I thought because you were texting me like, oh, what's that shop you go to? I'm like, oh, you have to. I was like, yeah, so it's this high tech.
Oh man!
And then I was like, I was just assuming it was for your doors.
No,
and then you just never answered me. What's it for?
I know.
Hey, you're like, oh, I got shit to do. Fuck off.
I was super fucking busy. I didn't say that though.
No, you just did.
So with the
all you see is just
the windows,
red. I was left on red.
No, I don't have. I shouldn't have those.
I honestly,
I took them off, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah,
specific just for you.
Yeah.
No, so like customers text me.
Like you'd see, like, I really need help with you. But like, oh, fuck off.
No, well, I'm drowning. Kyle, help me.
Red.
Red.
Fuck, I got shit to do.
You're right. So you reminded me about the windows. So,
yeah.
So a couple months ago, quite a while actually, I started on the driver door. I ripped it all apart. I wasn't happy with my work I did on it. You have to, with these cars, I think I've talked about it, you had to drill out rivets.
Yeah.
And you have 10 of them you have to drill out.
Yeah.
Put a new window regulator and then put 10 rivets back in. And they're huge rivets. Yeah. It's not just like a rivet gun you get at like Home Depot.
Yeah.
I found they did have it at Harbor Freight, and I was going to town on that thing. It's like this. It looks like you're doing bellows.
Yeah.
Like that's basically, but it's basically what it does. I don't know if you know how rivets work, but they pull a piece of steel through a piece of aluminum. It fans it out and basically compresses everything.
Yeah.
And then it snaps that piece of steel.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But you're basically, but you have to run them through glass. You have to run these things through glass. I'm not a certified anything.
Yeah.
So I did that, but I was cautious to it through the glass, so I put bolts on it. I wasn't happy the way that turned out. So I went back and I was driving that car around with the driver side panel. It looked like DA went to we're looking for fucking drugs on my car. I just left it without a door panel for like maybe 8 months, 9 months. Yeah. Quite a while.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to handle that. I'm going to put my door panel in. So and then I put the rivets in and now, just scary. You think you're going to shatter the fucking glass.
Yeah. And you're like in more trouble.
Exactly. And so got that one in, and actually maybe I should, what started me on this is the passenger side died as well.
Yeah, I think you said that, and that was like something you're going to do.
Yeah,
this past weekend. So you got that both of them knocked out.
But I'm like a pro now.
Yeah.
So that one took me 8 months to complete.
Yeah.
To put everything back in. This other one took me like maybe 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Drill out the old one, put the new window regulator in there, put everything back in. Fucking.
You put the door panels back on?
I did.
Nice.
It looks like dude. I'm like. United Auto Worker Union's calling me like, hey man, you got a job, but those rivets
looks like a fucking 12-year-old car. It looks awesome.
Yeah, that looks like
you're gonna say it looks like a brand new car. I'm like, looks like a 12-year-old used car.
Yeah, with fucking dents and shit.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, so I forgot about the doors.
So you got a lot of,
because it was so quick.
Yeah, Grease Monkey quick. Kyle this weekend.
Fuck yeah.
This whole week.
But anyways, that is my what's new. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just getting shit ready and getting out there. But what's new with you?
So I was thinking, since Kyle's leaving, the band's done, I think I need to I'm gonna have more time, So I was thinking about working on my open mic routine. So we were doing stand up.
All right.
So I think I'm gonna start working them out on the cast first. So open mic minute. So
let's hear it.
I got this joke. So.
They're the first one.
So you folks ever heard about suicide girls? It's like, what the hell is this? Is it just a bunch of gals over at the Circle K just mixing up sodas and shit? All right, so that's my time. Make sure to tip your bartender. I'll see you next week. Boom, 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 boom.
Jesus. That's
Good. I texted it to I have our comedian friend Train. That's just a bit. So he's busy, he's doing shit, and I was like, I just throw him just dumb jokes like that. Like I haven't taught. Like the last text I had with him was back probably in February, and I just like text him random jokes, or we just say like, "Hey, how's it going?" But it's like mostly just jokes. He's like, "That one's pretty good." And I'm like, "You could use it in your act." I'm like, "No, I'm good.
No, I'm good." Yeah.
What the hell is this Suicide Girls? What is it? A bunch of gals over there? The Circle K? Just I'm like, well, who wants to say that? Who pays for that? It's so stupid. It's the dumbest shit. Anyway,
maybe I should stay. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I'm gonna work on more of this.
Yeah. Are you all right, dude?
Just work it out on the cast. So I got this great bit. Anyway, so actually, as far as gear goes, I know you're paring down some stuff, or like gave Johnny back some of his pedals and stuff.
Yeah, he swung by and grabbed like 10 or 12 pedals that left over. He'd always bring and never take.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, here, I have a bunch of pedals. Before I forget, just grab them all.
Yeah. So I think it was probably one of the last times I was here. I grabbed a pedal that you had borrowed from like a friend, Alphonse from One I Read.
Yeah.
He like gave you like he's like, oh, you can borrow this. It's like kind of just like at the studio when we used to share it. That was how long? Probably over a year and a half.
Probably like 2 years.
Who knows? A very long time ago. You had bought a pedal from him, so he was probably like, "Oh, try this one too, see if you want to buy it."
Yeah.
So you bought the slicer from him, and then he gave you I didn't even say it, the exotic BB preamp. I've talked about how much I like it. And I've posted like it's an awesome pedal, and it's just kind of adds a little bit of juice, like some dirt, some
color.
Yeah, it's a awesome pedal. I really dig it. I don't know what the hell it's like. It's a preamp, and it has like the high and low and a little bit of gain, like stuff like that. It's not like a high gain. It's like a really boring. I tried to pull that one out. Yeah, you did it earlier on. I think on the Patreon. I'm like, fuck it. I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna let it
open
fucking
this
fly.
Fresca in the meantime.
Get that like fucking the Truly. I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna gate it out.
Yeah, what'd you get? So this is the Truly peach.
The iced
That's
tea.
the tea.
The iced tea peach. Yeah.
How's the peach though compared to the other one that you
They're
had?
all good. I like them.
All
fucking
right.
sick. It's like the lemonade.
I've gone from the Truly iced tea that you brought to a Miller Lite to a Fresca.
You're just fucking.
I'm easing it back.
You're
I'm pulling out.
You're doing them all.
Yeah.
You're pulling out. I'm going in.
Yeah.
No, anyway, so you've had that pedal for a while, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, and then we talked about
I think when I played it, I didn't really notice it doing anything. But that was also like in the beginning of, I think, playing. It might have even been more than 2 years. It
really just has to, like, if you play clean amps, and it's like a lot of things with like tube screamers where people's like, tube screamers suck. I'm like, it's because you're playing a clean amp.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to do the thing. It's like, it's going to do more for like on the edge of breakup cliche, or like,
to push it over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It does a really good job of that. Totally different than like, it's a preamp that's pushing it. So, I grabbed it from you. I'm like, yeah, no, I want to buy it. I'll buy it from him. So I hit him up. And so I hit him up today, actually, and bought it from him. I'm like, hey, you remember that? He's like, we could have just kept it. If you were an asshole, like if one was an asshole, could have just kept it and he would have totally forgot. He's like, oh, damn, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you can have it. You got any pedals to trade? I'm like, I really don't. I'm running out of...
Dude, you should have hit me up.
Mm-hmm. It's like...
I'll give him all the shitty ones.
He wanted a Blues Driver or a Boss digital delay.
Oh.
I'm like, no, I don't have any of those. I'm like, I have a Boss Blues Driver. I told him not to be like, but I'm like, I got one and I'm not trying to sell it.
No.
He's like, fuck. Fuck. And then I'm like, I'll just buy it from you, dude. And then he's like, all right, okay. How about find the lowest price that you can use online, and then take away $20.
Dang.
And so I was all like, I was like, I went because
every bargain bin.
I was going, I was going on Reverb, and I'm like, damn, those things are $150. Fuck. And I was like, shit. And I'm going, I'm like, okay, that one's 130, that one's 120. Oh shit! I guess I don't know if I want it that much. And I found it on Guitar Center used for $99.
All right,
it's like $79.
All right, perfect.
Well, $79, I can deal with that.
I should have gone to $69.
Yeah, and then so he's like, all right, I'll do $79. And I'm like, all right, whew. Screenshot and send it to him. Like, all right, okay. And I was like, 'Cause I was like, I didn't actually even look how much they were. I just I like it. And I'm like, yeah. I should.
You should have led with that.
Yeah, I should have looked at it first. And I was like, oh, I could have easily said, I'm not going to buy that. And then, or it could have, yeah.
It was kind of a dick thing. I've had it forever.
To not even pay him for it.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't need the money, but it's an awesome pedal.
I have some pedals loaned out too.
Yeah.
I also have some pedals here I probably should send back. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you should get them back to the people. But yeah, so that was a new gear purchase, which is like it's been here, so it's not like brand new. It's just been here, so now it's like I actually own it. So definitely dig it. And I it's one that I've known I liked. Yeah. I even actually emulate it in Fractal to help with my AD30 in my Fractal, and it sounds great on an AD30 in IRL. So it's kind of cool to have the real thing, with that. IRL.
It's so good.
So
Thanks.
Yeah, I dig it. So that's kind of like a new pedal that I've had.
Yeah.
We've had, I guess. And so I'm like, the guy should be paid for it.
Yeah.
He totally forgot. It's like, oh shit. Okay. It's like, we can just do a trade and make it easy. I'm like, yeah, I don't have anything to trade, dude.
Yeah, I don't have those things.
And also like anything interesting. I'm like, I got nothing to trade. I'm like, no. So that was that. So
that's cool.
Yeah, new
pedal.
Kind of new, but yeah, it's like still here. It's like I look at it, I'm like, all right, so it's gonna stay right back on the pedal shelf. Right there's
someone else's house.
Nothing new. So yeah, it's at
How long have you had that? Or you've had that for a couple months, though, right?
I think it's like I said. I think I've taken it and brought it back like 4 or 5 times, and so this last time I took it, it's at my house now. I was like, I better just hit this guy up. So, yeah, it was good. So to give him the money for it, because it'd be like kind of fucked up to be like, just wait until he says something. You know how fucked up that would be? Which you could do that. I just no. Anyway, so
yeah, it's fucked up.
Let's see. I have been working on that HX Stomp video. I'm still on the fence of whether I want to keep it or not, but it does sound good. And I also have been
you better get rid of it before it starts a fire or something.
Yeah, just like lights that new desk on fire. It just looks great on that setup. That's kind of what it was. And it works, and it does everything it needs to. I'm like, this is exactly what I wanted it for.
You should send it to AWOL and get it painted or something.
I don't know. Well, then I can't really fucking sell it.
Exactly. That'll get you on one side of the fence or not.
Yeah, and I did make a for the video, which I will hopefully come out. It's sooner than later. I did make presets for it, and I've been passing those around, kind of just like, hey, I saw you have a fucking HX Stomp. You want to try my presets? A bunch of people, but I just kind of like nobody asked for them, but I've been soliciting them to like.
All right.
Will Lehue just surprised me over there, and then he's got a Stomp, and then he tried it out. So did Abe Newman, RJ, and then Derek from Tone Control, and buddy John from Rogue Stereo.
Nice.
Sending those around, and he sent me a bass preset that he was really stoked about. And we're both trying to do with stock everything. And that's kind of what I was doing when I sent it to like Abe Newman. It's like, we got to do stock cabs. And it's like, kind of the cool thing about, you could do IRs, but it's like, if I'm putting out a preset, it's got to be
someone's got to have it all.
Yeah. The cabs that are on there. And so I got good feedback.
Makes sense.
Let's see. Will, he's more of a fuzz kind of doom guy.
More fuzz, bro.
No, he was like, damn, when you guys talk about it on the podcast, you do like mids because there's a lot on here.
Yeah,
and he never said it was good or bad, but I'm gonna take it as a good thing. So it's
I don't know. From where
I just been like kind of throwing that around. So getting good feedback on the tones that I have. So I just gotta finish that video and get it out. But I guess since like the last announcement on the last podcast of you moving, and then we're saying that the band is ending, I've officially posted about it on the band's social medias. Not that they were like jumping and clamoring. It's like, what's the news, folks?
Hey.
But I think it was just worth it just to like say or whatever.
Yeah.
So, not that it was like, thank God, but it was like, I think good. I don't know, not like feedback, but just, I don't know, people like reaching out or encouragement. I'm sure you did too. People reached out to you like, hey, good luck, or best decision you'll ever make.
You're never gonna regret any of this.
Yeah, the band leaving.
No, I didn't get that.
We never thought you'd do it, man.
Thank God you're leaving.
What, moving to Texas? Like, no, that fucking band.
Good riddance.
Yeah. So hopefully you got, good words of encouragement.
Yeah.
So I'm not going anywhere. A lot of people ask, I'm like, oh, yeah, so he's moving. So when are you moving? I'm like, I don't fucking never said. Or you get like a little post. I'm like, oh man, the band's breaking up. What happened? I'm like, I wrote like a fucking whole page explaining about everything. And then you didn't read it, did you? So you're moving to Texas? Like, Jesus Christ.
They wanted to hear it from you.
No. They read it and they asked me, "Are you moving to Texas?" I'm like, "Are you stupid?"
Yeah.
But you're trying to be nice because it's like people you don't really talk to on social media, and I'm gonna be like, "No, Kyle is, not me." I'm like, "So did you read it?" Yeah, I did. I'm like,
"Did you?
Did you?" Because
I know you say that, but did you?
Did you?
Can you read?
Yeah, but yeah. So, with that, I think, a lot of people are like, it is like, kind of like, oh, when you just always like, oh, the band's always gonna be around, it would be around, and I'm like, oh man, I really, people are like, but dang, I'm like, yeah, you didn't see a show for fucking 7 years, fucking.
Yeah, don't act like you're all hurt.
Yeah, that, and then it's like, oh, you got a final show. I'm like, no, the last one was the final show. The final show was the final show.
Back there.
Yeah, but hey, it is what it is. And then, I'm stoked for the next thing. And then people are like saying, hey man, this was feedback. I think it's good. I guess you're going to take it for whatever it is. They're like, this could be the best thing for you guys, for the creativity. And now you hear it out. It could be
go for it.
That we always could rely on the other person. For like writing something and performing or doing whatever we're going to do. Like, oh, he could fill in the gaps here. So you don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So whether who or whatever you start playing next, I won't be there. So you have to think, well, anywhere that I can rely on that person, I can't anymore. I have to do it. Or
I can see that.
I have to get somebody else that can do that or work with them. And then for me, I'm like, okay, the next project that I do, like, I would be like, oh, I know, Kyle can sing this and Kyle can play this. I'm like, I don't have that anymore. So I need to either get better at what I'm doing as far as rhythm or singing or whatever, or my lead parts as far as vocals go, or I'm like, I don't have anybody to do my harmonies.
Yeah.
Even though I would with Brian, but, I wouldn't want to think about, whatever. Of like, oh, I can rely on that person. I would want to be like, I can do it. So not to be like, I wouldn't want to collaborate with other people, but I'm like, you don't know who you're going to collaborate with. So talking to other people too, It's like, oh man, so what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm not going to look for band members just to be like, look, put out Craigslist ad. It's like, let me just work on stuff on my own and figure out what I want to do and how I want it to sound or whatever. And I think with both of us, I'm just assuming, speaking for you, you'd want to make the next thing that you do better than the last thing you did.
Yeah.
Which would be the band, Playing Without a Pilot. That's where you want to go. So that would push, your creative muscle to be like, now I can't do this because I won't have me, not that I'm a virtuoso, like I won't have him playing the guitar part. Like I won't have him doing that. So if you're going to write something, because I know you were saying you're doing more rock stuff, you're like, oh, the guitar part I have to play, or I'd have to find another guitar player to do that. Not that, like I said, not that what I do is hard to do. Just play open chords and then, figure out a tone that, is, an orange.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. But it would be...
That's your MO.
Yeah. So, but jokes aside, I think that is interesting because I never thought about that. And so some people like, they respond and message you or whatever. It's like, they might not mean it as bluntly as that is.
No, I don't.
But
I don't
not that it's offensive, because I don't think it's like a lot of things would offend me.
I'm offended.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine.
No, that is like, oh, that could be the best thing. It's like, well, whatever we decide to do, whether if we do, like if I never get a project together and it's just recording, I'm like, hopefully I want to make it the best thing that I can do. And
no, it definitely makes sense.
And I think we said it last time, and then in the message, it's like we'll collaborate, but Plane won't be. It's not. Plane isn't like a recording project. Plane was a band, so that'll be what it was, a band.
Yeah,
that plays live. If it's not that, then it won't be that. But the next project that we do, we can always like toss things back and forth. But the next live thing that I want to do, I don't want it to be a project. I want it to be like a band that can be brought out. I'm like, cool. So that's gonna be different. And I'm like thinking, how am I gonna write it? Because I'm gonna try and write it with Brian, but we're not going to be jamming doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe we could because we won't have a bass player or a guitar. Who knows? I don't even know. Because I like the idea of like keep it 3 because one other person you got to deal with. Because I already know I get along with Brian.
Yeah.
And it's like, can we just add another person? And I'm like, what if we just make it a 2-piece? No. Instantly, I'm like, no. And then I'm like, it would be cool to have like, another guitar. I'm like, no, not only adding one person, you're adding 2. And then I'm like thinking of all these ideas. I'm like, you know what? Let me write first. Yeah, you just kind of start thinking of like, what about this? What about this? I'm like, no, let me stop and write.
Yeah, get some music down first and then see where that actually goes.
So yeah, it was good. So I felt like I got good, I don't know, people reaching out, stuff like that. And like I said, you're the one actually moving. I would assume people have done that to you.
People are like, get the fuck out of here, loser. People are pretty supportive of the move. They say,
best
California's lucky, sucks for Texas.
Oh, yeah. Suck on this.
Here, I got a gift for you.
They throw a rock through your window. I'm like, how do you know where I lived?
No, it's been fine.
Yeah.
So I have people messaging me. And
good. It's definitely a big change. So not that like in 1 week we're like, hey, everything's back to normal. Like, because it's not. And then, I don't know, it's cool. It's just kind of like one thing. I'm like, not that we're super like active, like personally on social media. I'm not. And then even the band hasn't been because there hasn't been anything going on.
Yeah, no news is bad news. Or it's good news.
And I'm not going to be like, Flashback Friday, who felt ready for shows?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, it's like, why am I going to waste Instagram space? We had like somebody in high school back when like MySpace was this thing. They would like create a new band like every other week. And somebody says like, God, you guys are just creating the same bands with the same 5 people. You're wasting MySpace's space.
Yeah. You in fact use the same pictures on some of those.
Yeah. I'm like, you're just changing. I'm like, oh, he's the drummer.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he was the bass player last time. Like, you're the same group of guys. Kids. They were children. That's what they were.
They were.
We were boys. So, but yeah. So that's kind of like, like I said, people who did reach out either from the podcast or the post and stuff like that. I do appreciate it. And so maybe, because people are like, so are you okay, man? I'm like, what the hell are you?
you want to talk about it?
Yeah. The Suicide Watch.
Yeah. Suicide Girl.
Yeah. I did, because I was texting you. I'm like, is that like, that's still a thing, right? So I went to go search it on Instagram. And it wouldn't let me search Suicide Girls without.
So you automatically went to Reddit.
No. It said like, do you need a hotline or whatever?
Oh, wow.
It would block the whole page. I'm like, it said suicide. I'm like, no, bypass or like exit out of it. And then I went to the page. I'm like, okay, this is still a thing. All right.
They call them alt girls now.
And then I was like, it is still Suicide Girls is still a thing. And then I'm like, well, let me scroll through this a couple hours.
A couple hours.
I'm just kidding.
Until my finger starts, I get a blister on there.
I'm just kidding. Anyway. So, I guess that was kind of it for the What's News. Let's get into some topics.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so for the first topic, I think we've been kind of talking about this one for a little bit. You have a friend or coworker, I think, that it was wanting to start a podcast.
Yeah, it's friend.
Yeah, a friend that wanting to start a podcast and kind of thinking about like the gear that you need for it.
Yeah,
and kind of how to start recording a podcast. Anybody can do a podcast. You can do podcasts about anything. You can kind of whatever. But there's to say you need this type of stuff or whatever, it's like all like, it's like subject. Like everybody's different. It's like saying like what you need to play guitar.
Well, this is like how we do it.
Yeah.
I guess,
so I think
more like
these are our tips and how we record a podcast and how we are, different scenarios. So right now, how we're doing it is different than how we do it over online if we're in separate locations. And then we're going to be trying a couple of different things when, you're in Texas.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you need to have the belt suspenders mentality. And like, you need to have like backup for your backups. So I think we've kind of gone over different ways. I guess maybe how we're doing it now.
This very second.
You might be able to see it on camera here. So sometimes I have it out of shot, but this time I kind of wanted it here. So we're using a portable recorder. We're using a Zoom H6. We're got it's got 4 mics in it. We're using 2 of them. And then it has the gain control on it, whatever. And then our mics, as you can see here, I'm using just like a vocal stage mic. I'm using the E835.
Yeah, works great.
Sennheiser.
Yeah,
and that's like what you would use to sing into when you're playing live in a band on stage. And then you're using a little step up there, and even
SM7.
Yep, from Shure.
Yep.
And that's kind of like the broadcast standard. Even just a recording, it's like, I was like, I could even just see the box there. I was gonna say exactly what's on the box. It's a legendary focal mic.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Sure. That was exactly. It's because you can use it for singing. This is probably one of your best all around mics because you can use it in the studio for singing. You can use it for, like talking, like broadcast. Like I'm sure if you watch like Joe Rogan, you can see a lot of the other podcasts. Like this is just a standard for whatever.
Yeah.
Partially because of the pickup pattern of it, it blocks out a lot of noise.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned it before, but talking to episode I did with Scott Hamilton from the Effects Loop over there, he talked about it. It's like, these are great if you're just in noisy situations. And if you think about it, because the further you're going to go from that mic, you're not going to be able to hear it. So
if I'm talking and I'm going farther back, I can even hear my own headset that it is very.
You might not even be able to be able to hear them anymore, right. Which is good if there's like noisy stuff in the background, because like we'll get to where we're recording right now. It's not the most ideal situation, so I'm kind of just it's a little patchwork with this one, so just kind of follow me as I go. It's all ideas I got going on in my head. I think you can see on Reddit and stuff like that, like people say like, what do you need for a podcast? And people like think of like, oh, you need sound treatment, you need these these like bass traps, you need all this stuff, you need like a professionally sound treated studio, you need the fucking the Rode like podcaster thing that costs what, $600. You need these mics specifically. I'm like, no, you don't need any of that.
You could record into your voice memos on your phone.
Yeah, you could.
You really could.
Even the mic that you're using you totally don't need it. Yeah. But you invested in that because you want it for gaming, for recording, and like for vocals. That's an investment. You're never gonna not.
Yeah.
Like,
so the mic, also the cloud lifter setup.
Yes. So
I could show it, right?
Yeah. See if we can get that.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
This thing.
So that's got a power. Like the SM7 is like not a very powerful mic, not strong signal. So to kind of kick that up to be able to be recorded, we use that, and that gives it like, I think 25 decibels of gain.
Yeah, and your recorder to enable to work this has to have a 48 volt feed, right? It's got to power this device, the cloud lifter.
Yeah, so that's going to power the cloud lifter to give it enough juice to go into the device, which we're using the H6. I'm not going to move it.
Yeah.
But we have here
similar.
Yep, an H5, which this is where we started on.
I'll hold it closer.
So that one has 2 XLR inputs at the bottom here, and then you can change these capsules out here at the top. So if you want to get something else, or even just make it even smaller to move around, you can. This could be cool to like throw it in your backpack or whatever. If you don't even need this, so you can put like the different capsules on here. This is not an ad for Zoom, by the way.
This is what they call these cardioids, or
this is an XL or an XY, I think, condenser.
XY condenser.
So it's like a stereo mic, so you can pick up, like you can see it goes. This mic's going there, that one's going there. You can pick up more of it. And we've done a podcast too where we were using this, where it only has the 2 channels, and
picking up the room.
We picked up Johnny because he stopped by like unexpectedly and we just hung out. I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna pick up ourselves here. And then I kind of pointed this towards him.
Yeah.
And I was able to mix his track separate from ours and get it working.
Nice.
So it's super handy. They're not super expensive, but they're not like, oh, you get it for like, $70. It's probably, I think, like a couple $100. These are
150 or something for that, or was it 200?
Probably 220, 250, something like that.
All right.
So it's totally worth it though. Because with these portable recorders, you can record either like one mixed down.
Yeah,
so whatever you're listening to, you can have it all mixed down, and then you don't have to edit. You don't get a chance to edit. You kind of get your waveform, and then you don't have to have separate tracks. I like to have separate tracks, and then these portable recorders will record everything in separate tracks, and you can take that, put it into your DAW, and mix it later. So this is how we're doing it. Like I said, this kind of patchwork here. So
yeah, but some people don't have a DAW, so you could just have that file, and that could be your.
That's it.
You submit. A lot of podcasts, that's how they do it. They don't do any editing.
Yep. You just drop that in. A podcast I listen to, Cumtown, very popular podcast.
They are
very like successful podcast. The name is dumb. They used not the H6, the H5 for I think 2 or 3 years until it died. And they never mixed anything. They never changed anything. And you can hear how crappy the recording is. It still is kind of the part of the charm of it.
Yeah.
They never mixed anything. That was it. Because it got it down. He didn't want to. They didn't even have that. So they kind of take that, move the file, and then they just load it up to their, like this hosting. To me, I like to have them separate so that I can edit. And these allow you to do so with the waveforms. And we've been able to like, that's how we started, is by kind of, actually, no, how we did start, I went overkill. I was using a laptop. I was using my 8-channel interface into Pro Tools.
And recording live into Pro Tools.
Yeah. Dang. Which is like, it's totally fine, but that was so overkill to have to bring that back and forth to do the show.
Well, that, not to say that like you have to do that, but that's just what we had.
That's what we had at the time. And so I invested in that so that I can record drums and all this stuff like that. So it wasn't like a waste that I bought that thing. And I didn't buy that thing just for recording the podcast, by the way.
It's just something we had on hand, and that's
what I had.
We did that for a while, right?
Oh, I probably like the first like 15 to 20 episodes, I would say. And then until we wised up and got one of these, it's great. This thing still works, and I'm Kyle's going to take it, but I have been using this at home for my videos. I record the audio separate from the camera, and I sync it up in Final Cut. So, but what we do with the podcast here is I'm able to take all these tracks into Pro Tools, and I'm able to edit them. That's how I like it. Before, I was recording straight into Pro Tools so I could edit them. And so I do edit the podcast. Let's see. I think I can do some clips here now. So this is what you're hearing and what you've heard from the whole beginning of the podcast. I'm using Gate to cut out any like noise that I can cut out. So as far as the room, as far as like maybe you got some noisy neighbors, maybe
airplane.
Yeah. Sometimes like we mention like jokes on the podcast, like, oh yeah, you can hear that. And then you actually don't hear it because the gate cuts it out. So noise gate is like kind of gets you a threshold of like what below this level of noise or like the sound is going to cut it out. And then that's a really like dumbed down way of describing it. So people like who are like engineers, well, actually,
get on the horn on that one.
And then I put a compressor on both vocal tracks individually to like kind of like level it and then the peaks and stuff like that. Because on here you can put EQ and like gate and compression on here on the Zoom, but I don't really notice a difference, and I kind of just like to be able to. You
just want a raw track.
Yeah, much more comfortable editing in my DAW, but you might not be like you might not have a DAW
because once it's on there, you can't. Once it's been recorded, you can't take it off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you might, if you have a better processing technique, you might want to just do that and not.
But toy with it, and then the episodes that I did toy with it, you probably couldn't tell. So it's like you don't get too crazy on here. And then also I put an EQ. So those are the 3 things that I use on every vocal track. And so you're hearing this now, and then I'm going to. This is just the raw stuff, so you can hear maybe Kyle and I talking.
Yeah, I mean, I can throw a couple words in here.
Yeah,
you know,
and you might be able to tell the difference too. The difference in microphones. I think I do with editing. You really can't tell a difference.
But the raw, you probably can tell a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between that mic,
I've never actually heard the raw. So
the mic, that mic is a lot more bass response, and it picks it up.
I mean, if you want to get low, we can try and do it.
And then this one here, so that's what it sounds like, and this would sound like if I add just the EQ. So
wow,
you can still
snap
hear
your fingers. Yeah, and just anything's possible.
Yeah, you can hear that difference, and then this is
you could solve world peace, but you're just snapping your fingers.
This is like Thanos compression and back on, and then. And so that's what it does, and then the Thanos snap back on gate. You might not be able to hear a much of a difference like individually, but when you put them all together versus just the raw tracks, I think it does make a difference. It might not do much now because it's not super noisy. We're a little bit later, but sometimes like we've recorded during the day or like, and
we
then,
missed the fireworks.
Yeah. Fireworks going on.
7:45.
And then the dogs barking, the fucking
Guy
neighbors.
running his weed whacker and then trimming trees. And
yeah. So you can hear a lot of stuff.
he waits to see your truck outside and then
he's like, oh, time to go. Time to go.
Sharpen the blades up.
Yeah. And so, I don't know, kind of your editing, it really depends on what type of thing you want to do.
Yeah.
So, what type of podcast you want to be. A lot of podcasts, like some of them can do hella editing, and some of them, they have their professional studios.
It's also like what you're comfortable doing. I mean, you like doing that. I mean, to an extent. I know that you probably get tired of a lot of it, but I think you enjoy tweaking and messing with things and making things sound the best they can be, but they don't necessarily have to be.
And
it's still the content of the product that you're trying to put out.
Yeah, you're trying to have just a good conversation and trying to put it out. Not to say
which I think is probably more important.
That is probably the first thing. And like with those...
Not that we're saying ours is amazing.
No, not at all. But it's like some of the things like, what should I do? Should I get a room? Should I invest in a room and all these like expensive mics? Should I do this? What about outboard? And I even saw some people were saying like, oh, should I get a distressor and somebody said a UA compressor.
Yeah.
And like, tube preamps. I don't even have that for what? For your podcast?
They make those?
No, for your podcast, you're going to have a real like
studio gear.
Yeah, these things are like $2,000.
Yeah.
And you're going to invest in that? I'm like, I
cool, get it, dude.
I don't think that's worth it at all. And then I asked Kyle before. And so he said, it's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to pull the curtain back here so you can see where we're recording. So if you're watching on YouTube and you can see like, oh, well, do you have to have anything professional? Like, no, it's literally like you might. Like,
yeah, this is a window with my workbench that I have never cleaned.
And because it can get hot in here, the window is open. So that's kind of one thing. And then you can see.
Yeah.
We got.
Like it's a bolt just waiting to fall off and make noise. So
this is like a workbench that needs some work, but
it's more of a bench than work. Wait, what?
So yeah. So you can see these are just normal drapes. They're not really like sound dampening drapes or whatever.
But they are game changers.
There's it looks cooler. And
they made it so I didn't have to clean up that spot.
Yeah, there's no bass traps. We don't have any like professional acoustics in here. Like seriously, if you go on that Reddit, people think that you need to have these things. You don't.
Yeah.
I am using just a staged vocal mic, $100 into a portable recorder, and that's it. I'm not using any preamps, not doing anything, nothing, no settings on here. And Kyle is using a little bit more robust setup here.
I mean, it's way better.
It is cool.
And let's just say it right there.
And
I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but
and even just the mic stand he's using is very cool. It's a desk. It's like a studio. Yeah, it's the Gator Frameworks one.
Yeah.
And it looks damn good. It's not in the way. I just happen to have here a kick drum stand. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I need that. Yep. And then like, it's like if you're going to have like, gonna mic up a guitar cab or this is what we had when we started.
That's why you don't touch this thing, because it squeaks like a motherfucker.
Yeah, a little squeaky mouse in here. And then for me, we put on these... Yeah, like
it's literally like a mic, like a stage mic.
Yep,
you would expect on stage.
These little foam covers. They're like you can get them like for $5, and you can get like 10 of them or something like that.
Don't get a red one because then you'll look like you have a clown nose.
Yeah,
we found that out.
Get the blue one here.
Get one that's like black.
And this thing's probably 10 years old, so
yeah, it's Corona approved.
Yeah, this is pre-Corona.
It's like tuberculosis approved.
It's pre-pandemic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably pre-war.
Yeah,
no, actually.
Anyways, it's so you don't need a whole lot. It is a lot cooler. So you can, this wasn't planned this way, but you can just see that looks so much more professional. It does sound better, I would say. But, this still works. So if you're not doing a video podcast, like you don't need all that stuff. But if you are, you still don't need all that stuff. It's still, so that it's like, you can totally move this around. That'd be like a thing if like you ever see, this is, actually like literally the one that is on Joe Rogan, and
I had it before Joe though.
Joe,
I just want to say that I'm not trying to copy Joe.
Mm-hmm. And I say that, but he's probably one of the most known podcasters.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's not like you got to do that because he does. It's totally not necessary. But the mic does help with blocking out sound. So I do, if you are in a noisy, environment, maybe you have a lot of echo, maybe just getting a rug, and then this mic could help. Or if you don't care, or if you feel like you can edit more, if really, like you don't even need mic stands. You've seen, we've done podcasts where we're just holding the mic.
Dude, we've done them where we're laying in bed.
Yeah.
Wearing our boxers.
Yeah. Separate beds though. But nothing wrong if it was the same one. Nothing wrong with that.
We're, a bunch of comfortable guys,
So you don't need even mic stands because
seriously, you don't need them.
You can just get started.
Some of your podcasts don't even use a mic stand, right?
Yeah, I think it was the Tasteless Gentleman. I think went maybe 130 episodes. Like they were like 4 years, 5 years, and then people were complaining like, "Why don't you guys get mic stands? Why don't you get mic stands?" And they finally got them. It's like, you guys happy?
Yeah. No.
Exactly.
No.
But it's yeah. So now this is how we're doing it now. And then how we do it when we're separate, I guess, is a little different. We talk over Google Hangouts. So we've done Skype before, but Hangouts seems to work the best.
Yeah.
And when we have guests on, we talk over Skype or Hangouts. And we have to do it from a computer because these things they don't know Wi-Fi. These portable recorders.
These things.
Does
it make one that has one?
I have no idea. Don't really care. But don't know, don't care. So what I do with that is we'll go, either Kyle's computer or my computer. And let's say the ones where it's just Kyle and I separate. We were doing that when during the beginning of the lockdown or whatever for about last year about this time. We were staying safe, staying apart, and so we're doing it from our homes. And we both were talking over Hangouts, but we each had our own recording program. We each had a DAW, and we recorded our voice. I was recording Kyle's incoming voice, and then also mine, so then I can get his streamed, over Hangouts voice, which is still pretty good. I think some of those episodes we had a problem like getting your track to me or whatever, so I used just the streamed Hangout one. So that's kind of like just a safety net for me in case I can't get it or something happens to your track or whatever. So that's the best way. So if you're recording and you're doing guests or whatever, if they can record their audio, that's the best. That way they can send it to you, and then you have a better sounding source, just from the source, not streamed online. And then you can just line it up. So what I normally would do is kind of be like, okay, the guest, I'm like, can you
give me 3 claps, 4 claps?
Yeah, and you kind of see the spike there, and then you can...
3 claps this time.
Yeah, all to the back. and then you slide to the left, and then you kind of see the spike in the waveform, and then you match it up. And then you get rid of the, your shitty recorded one that they did, and then you put it with the good one that they sent you. And then that's how it works. I've been a guest on podcasts, and that's what I do. Yeah.
When we first started doing the remote, we got some compliments on the sound of my voice, which I was, gave me definitely a confidence boost.
Nice confidence boost.
Thanks, everybody.
Confidence boost.
Thanks for looking out for me.
Yeah.
Numero uno.
And then when we started what we were doing, it's just like, I think I just wasn't, I didn't know a whole lot, or I didn't know everything that I do now about my interface. I didn't also know it about my DAW, that you can record incoming tracks and you don't need to fucking, this is a mistake I was doing. I was taking the headphone output of the, I think the Claret or whatever, or out of something, and then feeding it back into the Pro Tools session. Because I didn't even know that you could record, they call it loops. Yeah. And you create a loop track in your, kind of your, it's almost like it's feeding like whatever it feeds the interface from online. So if you're listening to YouTube or whatever
it was, you were just looping that back into a separate...
I was like, it's with a cable back into...
You're doing your own loop.
Exactly. So I was doing that loop there.
Dang.
So, but we did a couple podcasts like that because I was figuring out my shit. So you can create just like a loop track digitally and then just throw that in your DAW, record that, And then, yeah, so that was one that I learned, and it drastically improved the sound quality of the podcast.
Yeah.
For my backup tracks, if I didn't happen to get a good one from you or guests. And sometimes I'll have guests on that they can't record their own audio. They don't know how to, they don't have the ability to. So you just try and get the things set up as good as you can. Sometimes it would be like, I don't even have a computer. Cool. Well,
yeah.
If you have a smartphone, you can download Hangouts and we could talk over that, and then just try to have like earbuds, like AirPods, or like the little, like something with a mic instead of just like talking to your phone and although we've had guests like that and that works.
Yeah. I'd also make sure that your, your not sample rate, but is it your sample rate is on the same. So we've had it before where somehow my computer got knocked back into like 44.
Yeah.
But you do it in 48. So it was like, I was talking real slow.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you're both recording at the same sample rate.
Yeah.
So sample rate would be like, you would look at like 44.1 kilohertz.
Yeah.
And then, or 48 kilohertz. And then you also have like the size, which could be 16-bit or 24-bit. And so that is like kind of like the quality of it.
Yeah.
I usually would do 48. Like this one I'm doing in 48 because it just matches up with video better. But for most of the podcasts, when they were just audio, I go 44:16, just the smallest size you can get.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a difference. You can't hear it with audio, really. I only do 48 now because it matches up with the video better. Just in Final Cut. That's kind of an option. I'm like, it seems to work. I don't change it. I could test it to where I'm like, oh, let's try 44 and see if it matches up with the video. And I'm like, it doesn't work. It works, and I don't need to change it. So that's for me.
Yeah.
But if you're doing audio only podcast, go fucking 44 16-bit. You're going to save a lot of space. And I convert them all to MP3s and upload them onto Podbean. That seems to work fine because you don't need to load waves.
You want to talk about Podbean?
Yeah, we ours are. I guess we what the hell was it? Podcast host.
Yeah,
is Podbean. It's not yet again not sponsored. You don't have to. I've heard other ones. I don't remember who Tone Control does, but they've kind of jumped around and they like their newest one, whatever it is. Yet again,
listen to them. I'm sure they'll talk about
it. And then some people have done SoundCloud. I've heard, I don't know, good or bad things. I think you can complain about anything. So whatever works.
Oh, what you got?
Yeah. So we do Podbean. It's fine. We do pay for the hosting. And that's something of like, if you're going to do a podcast and it has like, you're doing more than one a week or like one a month.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay for it. So, it's not a whole lot. So yeah. Let's see. It's pretty much, I guess it.
For the audio, I mean, do you want to talk about what you do for video or what?
Video.
Specifically, I mean,
I'm using a Sony A6400. I'm just doing it 24 frames per second, and then I basically just what we do is I've talked about it on the show, so I can match up the audio. So what I do is I take all the audio, like I said, I mix it in Pro Tools in the DAW, and I get all like some background noise out of it or whatever I can, and then get it as clean and best sounding as possible, bounce it down to a waveform, and then I make sure before we start recording and the video is recording, I do, and then you can see spikes on the camera's audio. So I guess I'm recording audio in the video.
Yeah.
I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm recording audio on the video that I don't use.
Back it up.
I only have it for syncing because I will then in Final Cut take the video, and then it has the clap spike for audio. And then I will dump the mixed, mastered, down podcast in there. And then because of the claps, there's a button, like little just option. You can click the video track and the audio track, sync, less than 30 seconds. It's done. Like,
dang,
you don't have to move things around and be like, oh, is that, because it does it for you. It's awesome. So it cuts down a lot on editing time. So if you're doing that with your podcast, you want to do video podcasts, that's helpful. So, I think with a lot of these things, and I think the biggest thing is you don't need a lot of stuff to get started. Things will help you improve and it'll be nicer. So let's say if you want to get nicer mics later on, that's cool. That'll be helpful. I think the Rode ones are very cool. The Rode Pod mics, no problems with those. SM7's really great. I think they came with the V7s, so it's a little cheaper option from Shure. Still like a podcast kind of mic is what they're going for, even with USB capability on there.
Nice.
So that's something you could do too. I know our friends, Tone Control, for years. Derek was using a USB Blue mic. I think he's talked about it, like a Blue Yeti.
Dang.
Just USB.
Yeah.
Yep. That's into GarageBand. So that's it. And then they record remotely. So like the guys are in different states.
Yeah.
Derek and Justin. So that's what they do. And then he just sends Justin the good audio file, and then so you don't need an expensive mic either. You just have a plug-in one and then just record it into, your GarageBand there. So there's many different ways of doing it. You just kind of want to get the cleanest audio that you can. But even if you just have your phone, you could still do that. If there's a way you can, I guess, send that to maybe upload it to your computer so you could throw it on a podcast.
Yeah, you can throw it into, a Google Drive, or you could do right into there, and then you can pull it into your computer or whatever.
Yeah. So there's so many different ways
really
of doing it. And so, like your friend, hopefully he watches this and get a lot of things out of it. Sure. Hopefully people watching this, if they want to start.
Austin Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully he can huge shout out. Hopefully he learned something from this, and hopefully any listeners that want to do
I learned stuff from this.
A podcast. Well, you're going to be taking this. So I guess
I'm going to be taking that.
So one thing that we're going to do, so like I said, the belt suspender mentality, what we're doing. So Kyle's taking this one with him. So in case he can't do like what we said when we do the separate podcast where he's got his SM7 going into his Claret or his Scarlett Focusrite deal there. So it's just he's recording into his DAW, which is Reason, and then he can send me that track. We can do. I'm shaking the table.
Will
here.
This power this?
It can on batteries. So another cool thing with this is these are batteries. This you can see the zoom here. We're powering because we've done it. I think we were going like 30, 40 episodes, batteries only on this. The H5. We had one podcast that just died in the middle of it. I think it was the Montel Jordan's one, that band. I think we were like...
Smoke break.
No, yeah, we were talking about technical difficulties on stage. And then that one kicked out in the middle. Like, what a perfect time to do that. So you can do power on here, which I highly recommend. But you can also do fucking battery powered, which is really cool. And they last a long time. That's why it went out, because we just never had this fucking thing go out. So we're doing remote podcasts. So if you ever listen to the ones where we do it from NAM in like
on
the hotel, or even on the floor in the hotel, whatever, it's good to go. And then this just has a little USB or micro USB deal there, and you just put this SD card, whatever you want to call it. You just take this, put it. There's the audio, and you just kind of drag that and put it into your computer there. So, like I said, Kyle's gonna be taking this so that in case, and I would say probably wouldn't be a good idea to use that. Let's say if you're like, oh, I can't, get whatever reception or whatever. I don't know. Internet's not working. My computer's not working. Whatever. The DAW's not working. We're gonna talk on the phone, and he's just gonna be holding a mic, and I'll do the same thing with
the audio.
Yep. We'll just be talking over, a phone call. And then we're doing that. I'm like, okay, Kyle, let's match up our audio. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and you kind of get it to where it matches up. Like, okay, we're good now. So and then he'll send me that, and I'll match it up to what I got. And that's how you can also record. And like, if you don't have internet, but the other person has maybe they have a recording program on their phone. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's so many different ways of doing it. So. Hopefully you got some ideas. Your buddy got some ideas. The listener got some ideas. Hopefully, if you're starting a podcast and you're wondering how to do it, it's not that hard. And you're going to learn more different things on the way. You might not need a fucking MacBook Pro and a 8-channel interface. You could, you could do it with one of these. So learn from my mistake here. Let's get to another quick topic, and then we'll get on out of here.
Yeah.
So I think this is running a little long, a little, long-winded here. So there's a quick one here. I was thinking of. Do you have a go-to burrito? not like my favorite shop here on this corner nobody knows about. It's like if you're going to go to any shop, one that you're maybe familiar with, you might not be familiar with. What's a safe bet? What's your go-to? Either way you want to slice it. What's your go-to burrito?
Now, see, I think you're just trying to make me feel bad because I'm leaving San Diego.
It wasn't the plan, but
you're trying to hurt me.
Yeah,
here.
there you go. I mean, they have Mexican food in Texas, right?
Yeah, I mean, they got Chili's.
They don't. They have to.
Hey, I hear it's not that great.
Really? I would have, because they're.
I mean,
bordering
they're
Mexico
a bordered
too.
State, yeah.
Bordered state.
You would think.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's not very good. I've had it. I've had it in like a Tex-Mex place. That's the closest thing I think they have.
I guess I don't really ever try Mexican food outside of San Diego.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I'm somewhere new, I want to try something.
I will be on the hunt for it, though.
Yeah.
But I guess
on the what?
On the hunt.
Oh, okay.
On
that was what got you.
So California burritos are damn fucking good. I love them.
Mhm.
I guess maybe people don't know what's in a California burrito.
Yeah.
It's basically a carne asada burrito.
What's in that?
Carne asada.
Yeah.
Guacamole.
Yeah.
Sometimes sour cream.
Mhm.
Some type of salsa.
Like pico de gallos.
Maybe.
Kind of thing?
Pico de gallo. That's usually
the main.
what's in there. But then a California burrito's got
definitely has
French
sour cream
fries
in there.
yeah.
So
French fries.
And added French fries and usually cheese.
Oh,
too.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's cheese in there too.
Whereas a carne asada burrito usually doesn't come with sour cream. I've seen you got to add it.
Ask for it.
Yeah, and then it's usually a go-to move is the California burrito.
That's
sure.
usually my go-to.
So if you're going somewhere new that you don't know,
Yeah, if they make a good California, they probably make everything else good.
yeah. So
because it's a simple. I mean,
because you've been like other places like even North County or whatever. You ever feel like I think you have gotten food poisoning once from a place.
oh god,
Would it be a safer bet to just not do a veggie one?
I guess it's safer to do veggie. I guess, but you can still get food poisoning from veggies.
Yeah, I think it was a ex-girlfriend once said she's like, oh, I always do vegetarian. That way you don't know if you won't get food poisoning. I'm like, yep, she said it. I believe it. She's wrong.
You can get. I mean, if people know they have to treat the beef or the meat or whatever, but they don't know they have to take care of the vegetables, you can still.
You're gonna get sick. Yeah.
You can still get sick.
So if you're gonna get sick, you know what? You're gonna get sick from that place.
It better taste good,
no matter how you slice it. So I would say California burrito, but I think I have changed recently. I'm going just like some sort of like breakfast deal. Like
just a breakfast burrito.
They're always good, and I've been going. If it has the option, going super breakfast.
What's that?
You're gonna add beans and rice and potatoes. Okay, it's gonna have eggs, sausage, and then your cheese and sour cream.
Sausage, not bacon.
You can do it. Oh, I'm going sausage.
All right.
Bacon for me. I'm like,
This is like a premium burrito.
Yeah, I'm going sausage because it's no more to do that. So I'm doing. Yeah, egg, sausage, you got sour cream, cheese, potatoes, and then they add beans and they add fucking rice sometimes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's like a 4-pound burrito.
It is. It's fucking rad. That's why I'm not getting burritos anymore.
Dang.
Where's
that at?
Add in 4 pounds to my ass. That's what it's doing.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
We got the badonkadonk going on.
Where's that at? Just so I can hit that place before I go.
I got just let's see. What the hell is
Vallarta's?
Yeah, that's what it is. Vallarta's. I'm like, it was like drawing a blank here. I wanted to say Cotillon, but I'll never go there. I'm like, but I have gotten it there. Vallarta's is so much better. So this is just for San Diego, Claremont people.
Yeah.
I've been to both, and
you had to live here.
Yeah, Vallarta's is the best. But that's it, like some sort of breakfast deal. Because to me, I'm like eggs, sausage, mix and shit in there. It's like you really can't go wrong. And adding the fucking beans and rice, you don't need it, but it's fucking awesome.
You're like,
I tell you,
it's almost like everything on the menu. You just ordered,
and that's for breakfast. Holy shit! No, you can get it all day most places. So it's a little word of the wise there.
Little hot tip.
But I've been 3 days keto, so I'm not doing any more of those burritos. That's a rhyme there. But let's get on out of here.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, just want to say thank you for tuning into the Tone Jerks podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. Hopefully you liked and so you subscribed there. If you're listening, hopefully you'll follow us on YouTube. And then let's see. If you like us, you can follow along on social media where we have a Facebook group. It's linked in the description, but you can also search it on Facebook. Just search the Tone Jerks. You'll find it. Join the group. Like the page. And then if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's at the Tone Jerks. We're posting cool shit on the reg over there. And then if you really like what you hear, you can help support the show on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you double down for $2 a month, you get an extra episode every week. So you get 2 episodes every week. You get the whole back catalog to an RSS link that you can put into your favorite podcatcher. You can listen to the whole back catalog of the Patreon episodes.
There's so many.
They are a completely different show. They're 2 shows. So if you like this one, you get a totally different type of show over on Patreon.
The same.
Yeah, you get the behind the premium, the premium wall, the paywall behind there. So for $2, you get all those episodes. There's
the
over
paywall.
Yep, it gets juicy behind there. Too hot for YouTube over there.
And Jerk Central over there.
You get all those episodes. There's like over 170 over there. So, yeah, I'm babbling on. But yeah, just for the support on Patreon, we wanted to give you all a huge shout out, a sizable acknowledgement. Kyle, you got a list?
I got it.
You got it on your SoundRise Pro stand over there?
I'm using it.
Yeah.
Utilizing this thing. Can they see that in the picture? Yeah.
I think you can see your, there you
right
go.
There.
There you go. Nice
tucked in right there, not going to fall over at all.
There you go.
All right. We got Andrew Walsh from Andrew's Alcove. He just recently upgraded that alcove with some paint. We talked about it.
Booyah.
Yeah. Adam Rohr from the Let Him Hear podcast. Doug King. Doug Christ from 37 Effects. Abe Newman. Michael Newman. Nicholas Ogburn. Nicholas Payson. Colin Smith. Jason Fuzzmonger. Joe from Like My Pedals and Will from the Just Surprise Me podcast. Now, Doug Christ likes to moonlight. Actually, he's like a full-fledged member of that show.
He
now?
is. Yep. He sure is.
He's in that.
Yeah.
He's in it to win it. He's elbow deep in that podcast.
Yeah, he's up in that.
Joe and Doug also do the Masters of the Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I was going to see if you're going to get through that because that's a lot of syllables that I'm like,
I got it. I only tripped over my mustache once.
Yeah. Me too. What?
Okay. All right. Ramyorn, Jamie Davis, Johnny Ray, Steve Mike, Steve Rao from 60 Cycle Hum.
Yeah, I'm going to do it, but I was saying, I'm going to try not to like stomp on you because it's like, I feel like I was talking so much about the podcasting thing because I just like got to nerd out about it. But I'm like letting Kyle talk and I'm like,
this is my bit.
Yeah, you better get going.
I'm shining right now.
Shining. I only like it when my dogs shine.
All right, that was Steve Rao from 60 Cycle Hum, Kevin E. Quits from E. Quits Guitars, Co Schneider from the Flippin' Flippers podcast.
These are goddamn great.
They're okay. They got an aftertaste I don't like.
Even when it tastes like a fucking Snapple to me.
You know what the aftertaste of this thing is? Beer.
Yeah,
tastes like beer.
Warm.
That tastes like chemicals in there. You know, it's colder than like my skin.
Yeah, it's not colder than my heart.
98 degrees.
98 degrees.
Yeah, that's.
You mean with those hunks?
I don't even know the song.
Nick Lachey, the hunk.
All right, we're getting silly here. Alvaro Viramontes.
Crazy.
Brian from Nutter Guitars. Mel Chipson of Chipson Guitars. Any update from that guy?
Yep. That was all me.
He's an angry guy, right?
I got the podcast on my hard drive, and it's just like every time.
Is he blowing up your phone?
He's blowing up the hard drive.
Blowing up the hard drive.
I gotta get that. Gotta get that episode. Yeah.
All right. Sean Fahey, Sean Arbo from Gun Street Wiring Shop, Sean Wright from Lollygagger Effects, Juan Ortiz from Tone Hungry Effects, Mike Oxbig, you G-Rection. Right.
I'm pointing at the list, not at Kyle. Don't get any ideas.
Show everybody. All right. Zach Hale, Eric Merrow from YouTube, and
I don't think I have a wide enough lens for those guys if they ever joined us.
Yeah.
I got 16 millimeter on there. We're gonna need a fucking wide angle to catch the whole thing. Block out the sun.
Eric Merrow from YouTube and ELM Effects. Scott Hamilton from the Effects Loop podcast. Tim Noack from Bardic Audio Devices. Jonathan Jeruzik from 12th Hour Devices, and Tyler Rhines from Casey's Riff Room.
All right.
Man, I got through that last one without going, Casey's.
Yeah, that one's, there's a lot of.
Casey's Riff Room.
Casey's Riff Room. Casey's, yep.
I got it. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
See ya.